Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop, from the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast on a Throwback Tuesday. Throwdown Tuesday. Sorry, I don't even know the damn title of the whole damn song. Anyways, we're here. We are here live and large. I'm supporting the John Cena gear. I don't know what these guys are doing. I don't care. It's Monday Night Raw and WrestleMania Rewind. It's the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast show. We got the MATT up in the corner. Got Mr. Bandana down in the below.
Detroit.
We got Nikki D right there supporting everything. We got myself, Huge Pop.
I call him the Timu Mike Santana down below me there.
Yes,
Mike Santana.
No, quite honestly, we're Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We're here to have our opinions. Nobody else's opinions but ours.
Right.
The thing we do on this show is share our opinions and don't bash each other. We try not to. We make fun of each other because we're bros, but that's okay. We're not going to sit here ripping apart WWE. We're not going to rip apart stuff like that. We're just fans of this business, and we're here to talk about WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2, and Raw last night.
Well, Matt, the duelist.
Where do you guys want to head into? What WrestleMania Night 1?
Oh yeah, I mean that's where you
do them in order.
Yeah.
So WrestleMania Night 1. I guess we start with Matt. I mean, I don't know. I don't have many questions about it. Let's run it down. What is everybody's thoughts on WrestleMania Night 1?
Well, should we just go in order of the matches and
yeah, perfect.
So we led off with Gunther Jay, the story of one of the best stories. And Scott, I'm gonna have to agree with Matt the Duelist. You're paler than Sting at Starrcade '97. We're just gonna start off with that.
Matt the Duelist, no pun intended, but you stole my line. I used that line night 2 in the chat. Come on, man. Come on.
So Gunther Jey Uso, quite honestly, Jay winning was best for business. It was David versus Goliath, and him tapping Gunther out was chef's kiss.
I think
it was perfect.
No, I think making him tap out was like the exclamation on it. Not just beating him, not just 3 splashes, but actually choking him out, making him tap out. You did this to my brother. I'm going to make you pay. Because if you beat somebody, you pin them 1, 2, 3. But if you make them tap out, it's just so much more.
And they're having a lot of backlash. No pun intended, because that is our next pay-per-view coming up. But they're having a lot of backlash and hate on him. The IWC in general doesn't like the fact that Gunther tapped. But if you look at the match going, like how it progressed, Jay super kicked him at least 4 times in the chest and neck area. Mm-hmm. He gave him 2 frog splashes off the top rope, and 3. And the third one was onto his back that knocked the wind out of him, and then he choked him out. It makes perfect sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
It just does.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved the match and the finish because I thought that makes sense, and Gunther's fine. Gunther doesn't need the belt. When it happens, because I started watching, so I had to go back and watch it. I didn't know what the heck was going on, and you guys were in the chat, and I caught it after the match. That's when I started watching. At first, I wasn't a fan of him tapping out. I didn't like that because I felt everything else was fine, but I didn't want Gunther to look weak. But then, because I knew that he tapped out before I went back and watched it. When I went back and watched it, he still looked like Gunther. He still looked like it took everything in the world to beat him. So I was fine with it. Absolutely fine with it.
The only other thing I had about that is like all the hate that the internet's spewing about him tapping and so quickly and all that. You go back to all the times that he has tapped out, like when I think one of them was against Ilja Dragunov back in NXT. And then there was another one that someone made him tap out a couple years back. Those two times that he tapped out, it was quick taps. Excuse me. It's just the way his MO is. Like he's not trying to get stretched. Like if he knows he's in trouble, he's just going to tap and like he's not going to take any major damage. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, all right, whatever, I'm done.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
It's realistic. You think of one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock mastered submission, but if you caught him in something, he would tap out right away. He didn't. He would try, and if he could get out, he would tap out. And he used to get some criticism from, why didn't you just stay in it or whatever and do that? He's like, why? Why am I going to risk injury or risk, like you said, getting stretched or having stuff get hurt? Like I'm beat, I'm going to tap out.
I think as a fan, I think a lot of people didn't like the finish. But as a person, as people that that talk about wrestling on a weekly basis, right? We know what to look back at. Matt hit it on the head. How many times did Jay? Well, we've seen Jimmy get choked out. So why wouldn't we want Jay to choke out Gunther, right? That makes perfect 100%. Get back even keel. I'm gonna beat you how you beat my brother. I'm gonna make you feel like what my brother felt. And then they not only did they now use it, but they used it going into Monday Night Raw. And we see what happened. We'll talk about that in a bit. But to me, that choke out was a start to the story that happened on Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. Everything Pat McAfee said, everything Cole said, whole segment. So that is brilliant to me.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
There's only one other thing I have to say about, and you'll notice that all my critiques and everything, there's going to be a pattern here. I'm going to adjust the IWC a lot tonight. Because the IWC, there's specific people out there. If they do watch this, they'll feel attacked, but it is what it is. People didn't like the fact that Jay won because Gunther was this big monster. They didn't like that he won because he's not supposed to be the guy. It's not realistic. It doesn't feel right. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
To that, I say there's two things, and it's a name. Buster Douglas. Scott knows this name like it's a bad dream in Scott's mind. Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
You know that you only know that name because he beat Tyson.
Shocked the world. Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know Sami Zayn more so for beating Gunther last year at Mania. By the way, Gunther is 1-3 at Mania, or 1-2 at Mania. The last two times he's been to Mania, he's gone in and lost the championship. Just saying.
Yeah.
He can't win the big one.
Yeah, which is crazy. Crazy. Especially if you think back 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago when you had that insane match between him and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Where they beat the living snot out of each other. Like that was one of my favorite matches. Like that was amazing. He won that.
Yeah, that's the only WrestleMania match he's ever won.
Wow, that was brutal.
That was a great match to win, though.
Oh yeah, it was. I still remember it. It was great. Yeah, and I didn't expect the last thing I'll say is that the submission caught me off guard. I didn't expect like Jey Uso to use the submission. So he's not a wrestler that's known for that. So it was kind of neat. It was different. It was unexpected. You know what I mean? It's not like the like he rolled them up in a small package or something like that, that you see a million times.
So next up, we have Eric and Ivar versus the New Day. I quite honestly thought this was going to be a popcorn match. I didn't think anything was going to happen. But to me, it had me glued. Like, I was like, holy shit. The only thing that I had that was, and it's a nitpick, and I'm going to sound like a Cody Cornette. I'm going to sound like the IWC for a second. My one F-bomb for the night. What the fuck were the Raiders thinking? Wearing that absolute heinous, they look like freaking like cartoon characters. They look like the kids from Clash of the Clans or whatever.
That's why they wore it.
It's so horrible.
I know, but that's why they wore it, because they were like, they were wearing like the Clash of Clans gear. But I gotcha. I know it
was
looks
just ridiculous. I mean, it's almost as bad as the Giant Gonzalez reference that they made, that New Day wore.
Oh, you're not talking about what they wore at Mania.
Yeah, that was a Giant Gonzalez reference. That was El Giant. Yeah.
Is that what that? I was trying to figure out what that was, because they're big into wearing like
anime stuff.
That's
like
what I thought
tons
it was,
of anime or video game stuff. And when they came walking down the aisle, my wife said they look like video game characters. They look just like they jumped out of like you're watching a video game right now. They're so big into that. That's what I thought it was a nod to, but I just didn't know which game.
Well, it was El Giante from WrestleMania 9 the last time we were in Vegas. He had those 6-pack abs and then all the fur.
Well, yeah, he always wore that.
Yeah, that was what they were referencing.
Really? So they were referencing, the Giant Gonzalez, El Gigante?
Really
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were referencing a really shitty gimmick from the 1990s.
Well, their outfits look sweet, though.
Throwback, man, throwing some love.
Yeah, their outfits look sweet.
It was horrible.
I thought their outfits looked sweet. I thought they were awesome.
That, like I said, they tore the house down, and then I have one thing left. Pat McAfee, after they won and they took off running with the belts, and he says, "They're running like they stole something." I was like, that is amazing. I love Pat McAfee.
Yeah, he's great.
He reminds me of a younger, more hyped up Jerry King.
Yeah.
He just go off and say whatever.
He's running like they stole something.
Yeah. Yep. That match, and just to tell you how good that match was, because my wife was sitting next to me, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch matches here and there," but most of the time she was like looking at her phone. She was watching that match because she was like, "That guy was good for a big guy," and I was like, "I know, right?" Like, that match wasn't a go get popcorn, walk away type of match. They put it on the line. That was a fantastic tag team match. I was like, dang, man. That was good. There was nothing about that match. The spots, the chemistry, everything. It was good.
And I'm going to make a bold statement. You talk about a popcorn match, go get something, go to the piss break, as they would call it. There's only one match all weekend. And we'll talk about it on the night too. That's in my opinion.
Okay.
What'd you think of the Viking Raiders or the War Raiders and New Day, Rico?
I like everybody else, man. I really liked the match, and I gotta say, man, the War Raiders, we know how good the New Day are. We just know that, and they show up every time. The War Raiders, they amaze me every time they come out. It's like, for me, I keep watching them, like, okay, they're better than they were last week. Like, they're getting better every time. Yep. Those guys are just freaking sweet, man. I love watching the way they move, like doing stuff. You're just like, what? How was he able to do that? But
the big fella, that's Ivar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ivar, man.
God damn it,
that dude moves like like a swan, man. Like you shouldn't move like that.
Nope.
You should not be able to move like that.
Scotty, what you got? What's on your mind?
That just sounds like a clickbait question. Next.
Take the hat off.
All right, well,
I didn't. No, seriously, I didn't. I was at a wrestling event. I didn't get a chance to watch that one. But again, that's a clickbait question. We'll go on.
oh wait, I'm sorry. It was night one was my piss break match. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay.
Next up we have Jade and Naomi? I think was next up.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think
that sounds right.
All right, I'll go last since I've gone first. First couple. Go ahead, Scotty.
Nip slip, right?
Oh yeah, chocolate boobies.
But no, honestly, she showed her strength, her power. I did watch that one. That one was a beast. That's all I gotta say. Jade Carter, she's a beast.
Yeah,
and she showed Naomi what was up.
You know, but I like how kind of bringing out that darkness in Naomi.
Yeah.
You know, showing that heel side, like, okay, here we go, you know, but Jade just put it to her and showed how tough she is, and all that rage came out. It wasn't it didn't go as smooth as I thought it could, but it was still a pretty decent match.
I agree. I was very impressed. Naomi, different side of her, different music, different. Unless she used that music before and I just didn't catch it, she was different.
That might have been her TNA music. I'm not sure.
Yeah, her attitude, her demeanor, and everything was different, and it worked. And she wasn't just in that match it wasn't one-sided. Like she got her stuff in, and she worked Jade Cargill pretty good. And you would really have to go, okay, she had to wait too long, or there was a mix up right here, or whatever. I mean, you could find that in any match, really, if you nitpick. Very good match. I was entertained by it. Didn't walk away, didn't turn away. I watched it. It was good. It was good. I liked it.
The spot of the night. This was one of the spots of the night. Of the whole weekend. The electric chair into the power bomb. That sequence was ridiculous.
Hey, I saw something afterwards. So I think I saw it online, or maybe it was Monday when I was working and I was listening to stuff. Did she get hurt on that spot?
No. They're trying to say that Naomi got hurt.
But that's not legit. That's like
no.
It's a work. Okay.
Yes.
I was wondering if it was because that was a heck of a bomb.
Yeah.
It was a heck of a spot.
Wouldn't be surprised if she did get hurt.
That's what I mean. When I heard that, I was like, oh, maybe she really got hurt on that. Oof, man.
My second thing is kind of, again, it's a nitpick. It's I popped pretty big when Naomi came out wearing, I called it Owen Hart inspired gear, with the caution tape and that kind of stuff. And I go, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I was like,
Vintage Owen when he turned heel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When he was part of the Nation. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember when he joined the Nation. That was
so bad.
Those were. It was bad, but I always looked forward to it because that was a group of people that you'll never see together again. Like the Nation. That was when they still had Rocky Maivia. That was when they still had like Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown, like Godfather. You know, shoot. Did Ron Simmons already get thrown out, or was he Farouk? Was he still in the group?
Yeah, he was still there.
I was going to say, I think he was still there.
Yeah, you look at all of those names.
No. When Owen came through, I don't know if Farouk was still there when Owen came through.
Okay, so maybe he was. That's the only thing I don't remember is if he was there. But I remember just the stuff they did. And yeah, it was short lived, but whatever. I remember it.
So was it Ray Phoenix and Taco Bell Nacho Grande? Is that what's next? Or
Gosh dang.
Yeah.
that was actually those two boys. It's just a shame that Chad Gable didn't get a WrestleMania match this year. It's just a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
It's a missed opportunity.
But
Absolutely.
El Grande paid his respects to him. We said, "Gracias."
So bad. That gimmick's horrible.
The gimmick is horrible. The gimmick is horrible. But that match was fire.
Yeah.
That match was fire. Gosh dang, that match was good.
Ray Phoenix, the IWC. This is my next thing about. I'll go at the end. I'm sorry.
So it's Ray Phoenix. I'm going to sound stupid. Is Ray Phoenix and are they brothers? Ray Phoenix and
Penta.
Yeah, Penta. They're brothers.
I don't think they're blood brothers.
You don't think they're brothers? Okay.
I don't think so. Okay. I could be wrong. I
heard they were. That's why I asked. I didn't know if you guys.
Yeah, I heard they were, but I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I haven't looked into it to see if they actually are.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but
just sorry, Matt.
God dang it, where'd it go? The IWC. No, go ahead. Because I got to collect my thoughts again because I was just thinking about other things.
I was gonna say a spot, amazing chemistry, stupid, entertaining, fun, fast-paced match. But there was a spot in that match, and Chad Gable did it. I came up. I was like, oh my gosh! Like I came off the couch. It was when he did that insane backflip into like whatever he did and landed on his back.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what you call that, but when he did that, I was like, dude, that was nuts. That was nuts. And I just that to me was like, man, this freaking match is like I thought when Ray, like I'm thinking, okay, Rey Mysterio's not in it, and this is just we're gonna plug somebody in. I thought the match might be, like we say, run to the bathroom match or something like that. I sat there and watched that whole match. That match was good. Yep. That match was very good. I was like, dang, man, they're batting 100 on this. All of these matches have been freaking fantastic. And that was one I thought wasn't going to be very good, and it was.
And they all were paced very well.
Yes.
There was no hitches. There was, except for my bathroom break one, because I hated this match. It was the worst match of the weekend. But the IWC hated this match for several reasons, because the commentary is talking about they went political for a minute, still calling it hailing from the Gulf of America and all this and that. And then they shouldn't be doing that, since they're working with AAA now, or bought AAA now, or whatever. And just reading into it, the IWC is so freaking toxic, and it's people on Facebook that really irritate me, that they nitpick every small little thing about these matches. Sit back and enjoy the show and enjoy the art of what is professional wrestling.
That's why. Okay, so that's honestly, I'm gonna give you a precursor. That's why I'm wearing this, because I sat back watched the beginning of Monday Night Raw, and it opened my eyes. We'll talk about that later.
The thing with the Ray match is, well, why they bury Ray? Why did they bury Ray? He's making his WrestleMania debut. Why did they bury him? They're just burying him. I'm like, no, he doesn't need to win. He put on a hell of a match. That's his That's essentially his debut match. Let him and he put on a great match.
Yeah. How many people get to debut at WrestleMania?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
have a match like that.
A match that good, it doesn't matter who wins, who loses. That
because
was a
they're both
match.
at the end. They both look like winners. Like nobody's going to look at that and be like, "Oh, one's better than the other." They put on a clinic, man. That was fantastic.
The next one up is LA Knight and the Samoan Werewolf. I honestly thought this was going to be an absolute squash. And these boys put on a clinic.
Yep.
I've never seen LA Knight look as good as he did.
Agree.
Jacob. Never seen it. And I'm an LA Knight guy.
I know. I agree.
There's only a couple times I've seen him look that good, and that was when he was in NXT. Like, I haven't seen him look that good in a while.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him look that good since he was Eli Drake in TNA.
Oh, man.
He worked, man. He worked in that
Dummy.
match.
Scott, what'd you think of Mr. LA Knight? Because I know you're his biggest supporter.
I mean, he did look good. He looked really good, but that's what happens when you have a match with they're both of them can work.
The greatest Samoan in all of Samoan history.
Fatu is doing so much that no other wrestler could even think of. I mean, that dude has so much balls in him that to do that flip, that bounce off the second rope, hit the top rope, flip. What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
And then land it. And I'm like, oh my God. And then you had LA Knight that sold the hell out of that. And he was so good. I mean, so good.
Yep,
oh yeah.
And I was happy to see him in a match like that again, because I'll be honest with you, LA Knight stuff as of late has been, I don't want to say lackluster, but lackluster.
Well, he'd been paired with Shinsuke, and to me, Shinsuke and they're two styles. They don't really mesh.
Yeah, they didn't mesh.
Yeah, and with Jacob and LA Knight, I think that's a good feud to have for a little bit. Like that's a good problem to have. With those two guys can work.
Yep.
And Jacob, man, he lives up to that phrase, gas, no brakes. Like he's just boom, go.
Yeah, you're not lying, dude. He does not slow down at all. And he's it was just crazy to see that crowd and to see how behind him they were. When he won in the end, I was like, just look at the pop he's getting. Oh my gosh, this guy's I heard somebody on one of the wrestling I was listening to like another wrestling show, and they said something that made me think. I was like, oh my gosh, and that might be true. Like he's basically not intentionally, but he has made them almost like the WWE forget about what they were doing with Solo. And Solo was supposed to be the guy that they were going to push and all this stuff. Remember, he took over the whole thing. Jacob Fatu is that freaking good. We said this last week. He makes you pay attention to him. He makes you pay attention. And when he won and that crowd popped, I was like, dude, remember, this guy's a heel. Like, I think I turned over and said that to my wife. I was like, he's a heel. He's a heel, and they're going nuts over him. And I'm happy.
Yep.
Like, that dude is legit, man. He is freaking legit.
I love that mask that he wore. That werewolf mask that he had on when he came out to the stage. I was like, oof, that thing was ridiculously, like, that thing is so cool.
Hey Dad, this will be the last time you see me wear a hat.
My other thing, and this again, sticking with my theme, my theme for the night for myself is addressing another IWC thing. People are losing their mind because Haku came out, and people don't understand that he has multiple different names that he goes by. Who knew that? when you work for different promotions, you don't get to keep your name. Haku, Meng, whatever else. So, but that's fine that you call them whatever you call them, but to get upset about it and like feel attacked, come on, really?
They were upset about that?
You're saying people are mad on the IWC about?
Oh yeah.
All right, can I say something real quick? I don't got time. Who has time out of us four to bitch about what name he was at the WrestleMania?
Well, did you know he was Haku? Well, he was Meng.
Hey, dude, if you knew anything about wrestling, yeah, we did. And whatever.
Yeah. Watch that dude, man.
Do you know my name is Gail and I go by Scott? Oh no, you didn't, did you?
Well, so
I call him asshole.
What's the big deal about it? Seriously,
IWC.
What's the
big deal? Because the IWC is so fickle. They want to be the only one that's right. They don't, and I will say this until the cows come home. The art of professional wrestling, there is no right or wrong answers. There is no black and white. There is no, this is the definitive person. Like, for example, John Cena, and again, I'm fast forwarding to Monday just for 1 second. He wants to be referred to the GOAT. He wants to be referred as the greatest of all time. He's not in my book. He's not in my book. I can't say that about him. That's not, but that's my opinion. That's not Rico's opinion. That's not Scott's opinion. That's not your opinion, Nikki D. That's my opinion, that I think John Cena he's a top 10 of all time, but he's not the greatest. Yeah. But that's my opinion. There is no concrete greatest of all time. It's your favorite wrestler.
That's an opinion.
Exactly. It's your personal.
Yeah, that's all opinion. That's all opinion. That's all that is. That's
how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And people can't understand that the IWC is just loaded with people who are, this person sold this many tickets, this sold blah 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 blah, and they're so obsessed with that kind of stuff. Well, I'm right, you're wrong. No. I'm right, you're right, he's right, and the rest of the WWE universe, the rest of AEW's universe, they're right too.
Yeah, you can't have that type of. That's not how. I mean, that's a group, I guess, that doesn't. They sound like they don't really understand professional wrestling, because you can have a whole group of people who come together and they don't all like the same person. They don't all hate the same person. But the beauty of it is that you have that prerogative to cheer for who you want and to boo who you want. And that is what makes professional wrestling so different than anything else in the world. I remember my first WCW event I went to, and I liked WCW, but I was like obsessed with WWE or WWF or whatever at that time. But I went to a WCW one and I followed them absolutely. They had Chris Jericho still. It was a young Chris Jericho. I was one of literally 3 people, I think, in the entire Van Andel arena that was cheering for him. And I was obnoxiously cheering for him. People were turning around and looking at me because they all thought the same. They're all like, this guy's a bum, blah, blah, blah. And I was hanging off the rafters like, Jericho, I love you. Man, you need to come over. You need to come over to the WWE. And then I also was probably one of 2 people in the whole place that booed Goldberg. And some people wanted to like jump me or whatever. And they were like really getting all mad. And they were looking at me like, man, you better shut up with that stuff. And I was like, no, I paid for my ticket. And I was like, Goldberg, you suck. And Big Show, when he was Paul White, I cheered for him, and most everybody was booing it. I remember I cheered for him and stuff like that.
Nikki D, I thought you were intelligent, and now that I know that you cheered for Paul White, I'm gonna have to change my opinion. I'm sorry.
I cheered for him. I wanted him to come over. I wanted him to come over to. Well, he was the Giant. That was
At
back
the
when he was
time.
the Giant. That was back when he was doing like all his crazy stuff. That was before I I mean, I don't know what happened. Right, when you're that big, you start to have things happen, injuries, but he was slimmer back then, and he was doing all this crazy stuff. A guy that big should not be doing.
Yeah, the time where he murdered Hulk Hogan before Halloween Havoc,
Yeah,
threw him off the
yeah,
top. Okay,
I
so
know, I know. But
so
anyway, that's the joy of professional wrestling. You don't
yeah,
every it's not everybody doesn't have to cheer for like the same person. Period. End of story. Just like you said, there's no freaking there's no black or white. There's gray. Okay, and it's either maybe you're this way or you're that way, but you go whatever way you want.
hmm So next up, did we get every? Yeah, we went through LA Knight and Jacob. So now this right here was my piss match. I thought this match was absolute garbage. The person that won should have won. She had the best entrance. She looked the best out of the two of them, and it's not Charlotte Flair. That Skeletor looking bitch needs to leave. I don't like her. She's she's malnourished. She needs to eat a sandwich, and she needs to
I
stay
know.
off my television. She's sending the wrong message to the young women that are watching her that she's skinny. She's so skinny her gear was falling off her.
Thank you. I was wondering if anybody, because I kept saying that, and then my
Notice
wife's
that
like,
too.
her gear, like nothing is fitting her. She doesn't look in shape. She looks unhealthy.
Yes,
There's a difference. Like you can diet down and be lean and stuff. She looked unhealthy.
and she looked her ring. She was loaded with ring rust. She looked like shit in the ring.
Yeah.
Tiffy carried her,
And
and
Tiffy's face
I will
showed
say
it.
that with my whole chest.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many times have you ever sat and said, Charlotte looked a little unsafe? You never say that. Never say that because she's usually taking care of her opponent and she didn't look right and she was rusty and she was a little unsafe.
Yeah.
She
It
just threw
showed there
away.
was something going on there. It definitely showed in that match.
Yeah.
But like you said, the right person won who should have won.
Hmm.
I didn't watch it, so to be honest with you.
And
Just
You don't
then
remember him back there?
her face afterwards, man. Her face showed it all. Just I was like, good grief, dude.
she actually got it fixed that night, so she's back to looking like she should.
Figured she would.
Well, something happened because I stayed up. I don't know how, but I stayed up and watched the press conference, everything where people were coming out and they were interviewing people. She came out to the press conference like, I know I'm not crazy. She got her teeth jacked up in that match,
Yeah.
or at least one of them. Because even my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, like her tooth is like chipped or gone,"
Yeah.
and her face was all messed up. She came out, her face was still messed up, but her tooth, her teeth were okay. So I have no idea unless I saw something that nobody else did. I don't know.
From what I'm understood, they were veneers.
Okay,
So the veneers broke and they just replaced them.
because her teeth were at the press conference. Her teeth were, you know, were fine, but she still was. Her face was messed up, man.
Next up, the main event of the night, and in my opinion, and this is all I have to say, it was the match of the weekend. There's no other match that could touch this match. None. And
It's hard to disagree with you. Yeah.
That's all I really have to say. I mean, was I pissed what Paul Heyman did? Fuck yeah. I was mad. Like, he screwed over my guy. He screwed over Punk. You know, how are you going to go screw over Punker like that? And then he did it to Roman.
Oh,
That was the
Like,
beauty.
oh, broke my heart.
That was the beauty.
Oh, yeah. When he did it to Punk, it was when he did it to him, he gave him the chair. And I'm sitting there like, oh, freaking come on, man. And I'm like, I don't know. Roman, I told you guys before, he's become my favorite. And he gave Punk the chair. But then when he blasted him, I was like, yes, baby, let's go. Let's go. And then he unloaded on Punk with the chair. And then when he turned, I just sat there like, oh my gosh. I did not see that coming. I absolutely did not see that coming. How about we give Paul Heyman his flowers, man? That guy is good at what he does.
Oh, he makes you hate him. He really does.
Yes.
He makes you hate him.
I have to say that I didn't see him turning on Punk like that, but the way we all knew something was going to happen. But I'm saying I didn't know he was going to low blow him. That's what I'm getting at. But if you could tell the way he was standing with Roman, you're like, he's going to do the same thing. Like he's standing, like he's getting ready for it. He's timing it out. It's like, Paul, you're making.
Yeah, but when you watch that in real time, you're looking at Roman. Roman is drawing your eyes because you're waiting for him. He's talking and he's the one who's animated. I didn't look at Paul. If you're right, because when I watched the replay, Paul was telegraphing it a little bit, like he was standing the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But when it happened in real time, I was just looking at Roman. So when he did it to him, I was like, oh, you freaking jerk. And I just sat there like, tell me he's not with Seth. This is insane. It's amazing, but it's insane. Like, and I think I sent in our group text, my head just exploded. That was the best way I could describe that moment. I'm like, I don't even know what to say. My head just exploded. This is off the chain. That's off the chain. I would have never predicted that.
So I watched it after I got home because it just got over when I got home. And yes, it was a very good wrestling match. Absolutely. My problem I need to figure out for myself as a wrestling fan is I need to step back. Because to me, that match ended like everybody thought it would end after SmackDown the Friday before. I don't think very many of us, if they're honest with themselves, when Seth Rollins says, now you owe me a favor, immediately I'm going, yep, because I'm gonna use a phrase or a statement my brother always makes. If the guy that gets beat down at the very last Raw or SmackDown prior to the PLE, that's going to be 99% chance you're winner. I took that to the level of when Seth Rollins said that to Paul, now you owe me a favor. I'm like, oh, there you go. They just gave you. And that's my problem with this WrestleMania. Because, and it's a fault that I have for myself because we talk wrestling on a weekly basis. We look at it. We're on the social, I'm constantly making clips. You know what I'm saying, for the podcast. And you start understanding the business. And for this WrestleMania episode or week night one, it took me out of the fan bit. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me because I knew Fatu was going to win because of the beatdown that he gave Ella. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that Seth was going to win. I just had that feeling, and it sucked for me because I wanted to enjoy night one, so I had to step back. When I watched night two, I watched it completely different.
Well, remember me and Huge Pop, we talked a couple of times about that, and that we have to take ourselves away from the whole, we know what's going on because we talk about it all the time. Let's just go back to being an original fan, kind of like, remember the example we used, being like a Marvel fan. You read the comics, you know what's going to happen in the movies, but if they put it together really well, you don't care.
And that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. I can't remember if it was Nikki D or Matt. That's what I'll say. Every single one of them, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and mostly Paul Heyman. They are amazing at what they do. They told the story. They were brilliant at it, and it worked.
Yep.
Yes. And this is where I feel like Matt probably I want to disagree with him, but I don't think I can because this match had everybody in a fever pitch. The crowd was like, I couldn't sit still on my couch watching it. The crowd was in an absolute frenzy over this match, and all three of the guys, including Paul Heyman, everybody did their job, and it
Mhm.
was just gold. And it's hard because there's like, what can you complain about? I mean, there might be little things you can pick out of a match here and there. I'm trying to think of something. There's nothing with this match I can complain about. Even the little hope that they gave you, and the way Rollins was working Rome, like you, in a sense, it was like the whole time I kept saying I feel sorry for Seth. And freaking, I should have seen it coming. I kept telling my wife I feel so bad for Seth because he was trying and he was trying to get Roman. And for a second there, I thought they were going to do the OG Shield thing, and he was going to pick him up and they're going to power bomb him, and Roman was like, pick him up. I was like, oh, this is this is this is making me happy. And then he blasted Seth. I was like, poor Seth, dude. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for him. And then at the end, I was like, oh, you're a freaking slime ball. It just
Love them.
There's nothing I could complain about with this match. Nothing.
I think for me, like I'm probably the only one out of the four of us that can watch wrestling in through two different sets of eyes. I watch it through obviously what we do each week here, but I also have a 12-year-old son who loves the business and loves watching it. So I can't take it so damn seriously. And I honestly wish more fans could be like that and be able to just watch it like we did back in the 80s and 90s when it was back in the 80s and 90s, who was watching for botched spots out of the four of us? I know I wasn't.
No.
Nobody. Yeah.
No.
You're not wrong.
No.
You know,
And it's still good to watch it as a fan. And I think if we weren't fans still, we wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
And that's when I watch it, I like to watch it as, I mean, I might have been keeping a tally like, oh, we were right about that match. We were right about that match as far as who we thought would win. But that absolutely did not negate whatsoever from the entertainment value at all. Like at all, because I was enamored with it. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, let's run right into night two now because we are almost to the hour mark.
Okay.
Night two led off with Io, Rhea, Bianca. Holy shit.
That match was crazy. I'm just going to say crazy bananas. It was better than what I thought it was going to be, honestly. Like, I wasn't thinking it was going to be bad, but it went over the bar I had expected for them.
Yeah. And the right person won.
100%.
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. And that's because my daughters will watch, and they have, especially the ladies' matches, and they have their favorites. And my youngest daughter, so my second oldest daughter was watching, she was visiting, and Rhea's her girl. And then my 16-year-old, her girl's EO, and then my youngest daughter, Bianca's her favorite. And she was ticked off at me when I said, I think Io Sky is going to win. I think that's who we picked. We're on the show, and I believe she's going to win. And she was, why would you say that? And it was cool because they were all into it. But like I said, getting back to the match, when it was over with, I think I said in the group text, this match is going to be like impossible to top or hard to beat or something to that effect because the match was that good. It was that good. I thought, man, how are you going to top that?
There was only one other show. There was only one other match on night two that could compare, and that's the Fatal 4-Way.
Yep. See, are we getting to that match next?
Well, next up was that Liv and what was next?
The ladies.
Ladies tag team wasn't next.
The ladies tag match, was that next, or was there another match in
was
between?
Oh no,
Drew.
Damien Drew.
Damien and Drew.
They beat the hell out of each other.
Oh, that was a good match.
Yep.
That was a good match.
That's probably the most underrated match of the night of the whole weekend. Those boys beat the piss out of each other.
Yes, they did. Pacing, again, back to what you said earlier. This match had perfect pacing, and everything made sense. And it didn't even, like, you felt like you watched a war, but the match I don't think was very long at all. And it wasn't.
The only match that didn't have good pacing for the whole weekend was Tiffy Charlotte. The rest of them had perfect pacing, except for one moment in the last match, but we'll get to that. So next up was the tag team, I think. I think it went, because they kind of alternated back and forth, I believe. Bailey. Not Bailey,
Becky.
Yeah.
Becky.
We kind of all knew it was going to be her. I mean,
my issue is,
I didn't.
I mean, I was happy to see Becky. I was happy to see Becky Lynch there. I'm glad that she was there to help win and take Bailey's spot. And
when we get to Raw, I'll explain it for you, Scott. Why they did what they did.
That is lame as hell. That you give it to Becky Lynch and then the next 24 hours later you take it off her. I'm not a fan of that.
And well, this is what I was thinking. Maybe Matt can clear it up for me, but we can talk about it a little bit. But I really thought maybe Becky and Valkyrie were not supposed to win, and they had to clear it up on the next night, like fix it, make that correction. I don't know. I was just looking at it from a different angle.
Here's where my analysis, like when I start looking, like analyzing everything that happened in that 24 hours. The storyline that they have, because Bailey's, they're saying that she's going to be on the shelf or whatever, so you don't have a rival for Lyra. Who better than the person who trained her to have a very good storyline, and they can progress through stuff pretty quickly. Lyra versus Becky, mentor versus mentee. It makes sense.
And you have chemistry already.
Yeah.
I mean, that does make sense. Yeah.
Let's see. So we had AJ Logan was next, I believe, because they weren't semi-main. The Fatal 4-Way, because they went IC title, and then or were they semi-main?
I don't think they were.
No, I think it was next. It was AJ and Logan.
Yeah.
I like that match. I like the ending. I mean, I'm not mad that Logan Paul won. I'm really not. I think I loved how I think AJ turned down the brass knuckles, or could have used the brass knuckles. He's like, nah.
Yes.
No, not doing it. And he ended up putting them over, and I have no problem with that. They both were amazing.
Yeah, because that fell into the category of it was such a good match. Didn't care who won. They both put it out there, and it was Logan shows you, like, man, he puts in the work. He trains real hard, and he shows you in the ring. He takes it seriously.
Yeah, he does. He does. I think I was upset because I felt like that match was too good for distractions or interference, even though it kind of played into something maybe that we're going to continue with Karrion Kross and AJ Styles. That's fine, I guess. But I felt that was unnecessary. They were telling a great story on their own. And then
It was necessary.
It was probably necessary, but I think I was a little frustrated afterwards because I I wanted one for AJ. Like I feel like AJ is getting there. You know, he looks great, he moves great, but I think like he's getting close. You know, the guy's wrestled ever. And so I wanted one for him. So I think I was a little annoyed. Nothing against Logan Paul or the match. I just was like, oh, I wanted AJ to somehow like, I don't know, to go over, I guess. Not just being honest. So
I mean, and that's perfectly fine to be like, because you're a fan of AJ Styles and you're not a fan of Logan Paul. That's quite okay. And I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. But I will say this. I'm going to say this for a reason, because we'll get to the spot later in the main event. Logan Paul is no longer a celebrity playing a professional wrestler. He is now a professional wrestler.
Agreed.
He has stepped into that category. He is no longer the celebrity. He is a WWE superstar. He has proven himself. He's been given guys like Roman, guys like Cody. He's been given opportunities to show his worth, and he has done exactly that.
Agreed.
That doesn't mean I'm a fan. That just means I respect him.
You respect what he's done. Yep.
But
I consider myself a fan of him and what he does. I'm more of a fan of AJ, and it's just the respect thing. It's like AJ's done everything. Come on, guys. Just give him this, give him this.
I will say this: they asked him about why he turned down the TNA Hall of Fame recently, and he goes, I think that would have been an absolute slap in the face to the WWE, and I don't want to do that and disrespect them. When I go into the Hall of Fame, I want to be completely retired, and I love AJ for that. Like, that is amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Respect right there.
So Scott, what do you think about Logan Paul, AJ?
Again, like I said, great match. They didn't need the interference. I did love Karrion Kross being there. I thought that was cool. I thought they set that up for something down the road with AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. I know my boy. Even when I seen him, I'm like, yeah, my boy Rico's going. Yeah, he's biting at the bit. He's probably
his boy's there.
Probably getting a little bit more excited than he needs to be at his chair, but
WWE, give him a chance. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
I think after that promo he cut on
that
podcast,
that was freaking that promo on the podcast. That was fire,
man.
And if you think for a second that's not a work, if you think that's a shoot, you gotta analyze things a little bit better, because that was definitely a work.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was not a shoot.
I know we're at the. Let's talk about the main event. I have a clip on here that I want to ask you if you thought it was a shoot or a work.
Real quick before that, I just want, because Matt, you said how night one main event, that was best match of the weekend. We all have our ideas. I got to say mine. I just want to bring it up, that Fatal 4-Way. I think that for me personally, that was just the best match of the weekend.
And Dirty Diamond's now a face. He is now a face.
Unbelievable, dude. It's unbelievable. Love that guy.
Man. I told
you.
I wasn't a fan of that at first, but it makes sense after Monday Night Raw.
Yep, sure does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is all because, and we said it when we did our predictions. What one guy did not need to win that? It was Braun Breaker. He didn't.
Braun Breaker, and that was the one I picked.
And if you lose, if you take that title off of him, we said this on the show, and all it will do is elevate him to the next level.
Yeah,
he's fine. He showed on Monday night. He's just fine.
Yep. So agreed.
So the main event, John. I'll go first so I can get my spiel out of the way, because I'm pretty sure I'm the longest one. Match was great. Until the last minute and a half to 2 minutes of the match. And it's not because of the ending, because John Cena winning, great. I'm so happy for you, Cena marks, who love him. You got your 17. You got the record. You got to see your boy create moment in history. That's no issue with that at all. My one issue is the fact that Travis Scott took damn near 3 minutes to walk from the goddamn curtain to the ring and left Cody Rhodes and John Cena sitting there like, duh, what am I going to do? If there's a pause in the action that long, if Cena was a true heel, he would have came up behind him and beat the shit out of him. Where was that? They were both sitting in the ring like, it's a slap in the face to us as fans because it's not real. Like,
but wasn't Cody still stunned, like
he
hurt
was,
or whatever? I mean, not for 3 minutes, I know, but he was selling. I think Cody was selling because Cody was probably thinking, dude, what is taking so long? But
and then an official, a referee taking a bump, and and it wasn't even a bump. He got pulled out of the ring.
I know.
And he laid on the floor for like 2 minutes.
Like he got knocked
like
out.
he took a chair shot. He got pulled out of the ring and acted like he took a chair shot.
Like Mike Chioda took a shot like that, and he didn't stay down that long.
No.
Shout out to Mike Chioda if you're watching.
Yeah.
It made zero sense to me. Like it was stupid.
No, that I agree with you 100% right there, man. I love the match. And, a lot of the wrestling that Cena was doing, it was like he was like showing you, yeah, I can wrestle, and he was putting on a great show. But the last couple minutes was like, you had this, it was up here and now it just dropped here. Like,
and I didn't have an issue with him low blowing or kicking him in the nuts and hitting him with the belt. I had no issue with that.
Nope.
It's everything. Okay, Travis Scott is a celebrity that thinks he's a professional wrestler. Newsflash, you're not even good at your real job. So stay away from pro wrestling.
Hunter put it right. Hunter put it like this today at a press conference. Oh, I seen it today. Hunter said, this is a shitty point. I mean, I'm sorry, Hunter, if whatever, you'll probably never watch this. But what Hunter said made sense probably to him. I didn't want to hear it. The reason why they put him in that spot was he's such a big WWE fan. Well, okay, then where's everybody else?
Put me there, and I'll run down that way.
Yeah.
No, it's not because he's a fan. He's probably a fan of the sport or the business, but he's also a money draw, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a celebrity money draw that Matt. I don't listen to rap, so I don't know if he can rap to save his soul. But I thought that moment when Travis Scott took forever to get down to the ring and blah blah blah, that took what could have been the match of the weekend because those guys are great. I mean, Cena's amazing, Cody Rhodes is amazing. They put on clinics.
Mm-hmm.
They put on clinics.
Did I hear that right?
Yes, you did.
Can you say that second part one more time?
Cody Rhodes is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
John Cena is amazing at what they do. They're great workers. And then you have that.
Yeah.
You have a show. You have a match that. Oh my God! After the third AA, Cody Rhodes is selling that shit like it was on sale at Walmart. So good, and so was Cena. Cena.
Yep.
And then we insert Travis Scott. And you know what? I'm sorry. I hated that match because where's The Rock? Where's all the shit that you built this soul story up?
Yep.
To not have and now I have a video. I don't know if I can play it. Can I play it, Matt? Do you mind?
Go ahead. Because we're moving into Raw next. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say Travis Scott was trying to do like
I don't have
an Undertaker walk down the aisle.
Yeah. Triple H said today. What is no, never mind. Forget it. Never mind.
You didn't.
No, it's not the right one. I'm just saying. The Rock said today, because the question was, why weren't you there? And he said this. He says, because I created the monster at Triple H at Elimination Chamber, and I handed the steering wheel to Cody and John Cena. Now, this is their story to tell, not mine. He goes, the final boss could walk away from this whole story, and it'll continue to be a gem. He goes, so I'm stepping away from the story until I come back. So I'm like, oh, so you didn't have no plans to be there? Which I wish he would have been.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, like you said, he wasn't needed. But definitely, neither was Travis Scott.
No, I think I agree with him, and he's right, because they took it, they ran with it. Cena and Cody Rhodes just killed it on the way up to this match, and I think that's what has so many people scratching their heads. It's like, if you were going to have a run-in, The Rock would be the only acceptable one.
Right. So I didn't find it.
Not Travis Scott. Yeah.
Okay, so I found a clip of Busted Open. Dave LaGreca. Listen to what he has to say.
When it comes to being fans, I get it. I'm a wrestling fan, but I cannot believe the same people that bitched and moaned about this guy 15 years ago, about this guy 10 years ago. He buries everybody, never puts anybody over. Now you're surprised by what we saw last night. Oh, it's going to be okay come WrestleMania. We're going to get The Rock. We got no Rock. Haven't seen The Rock since Elimination Chamber. But we got a lot of Travis Scott. Ugh. And you want to make Cody Rhodes look weak? Textbook making somebody weak last night at WrestleMania on the biggest stage that there is. On the biggest stage, you just threw everything that you did for Cody last year, and you threw it right out the fucking window. For what? A guy that's going to be gone at the end of the year. But I love John Cena. Fuck you. Because all I heard was you bitch and moan about this motherfucker, and now I got to hear it on fucking Twitter, on Instagram, and people bitching and moaning, leaving Allegiant Stadium. This is what you fucking wanted this. Where's the fucking camera? This is what you fucking wanted. This is what you fucking wanted. So don't bitch now. Fuck you.
Tell me how you really feel.
God, I love Dave. Dave's such a good dude.
I wish I would have watched that earlier. It was on my list, and I didn't have time while I was working.
That was shoot, right? He's shooting out the ship.
He's shooting.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Now, Dave LaGreca does not have any ties with anybody. He is busted open. He is like,
but he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. I'm gonna go back and watch the whole episode. He's not wrong at all.
Hey,
he's not wrong.
You pulled that from TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Send that to me.
Yeah, I got a couple. I'm gonna watch that
because I got a couple people that I need to send that to.
I will send that. Yeah. But no, I watched that. I'm like, wow, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah. The only thing they could have done, because the match got ruined by the ending, but by then it was already, where he had a chance to use the belt, where Cody had a chance to use the belt. The official wasn't up, and he could have hit Cena with it, but he couldn't bring himself to do it, and John kicked him in the nuts. And that was the thing that they were alluding to before that. He said, you're not willing to, you care too much about what they think, and you're not willing to do what it takes. I thought that would have been nice without any of that other stuff. Have that. That would have been perfect.
Right.
Because it builds on what John was saying about him. Like you're not willing to do what it takes. That's how I know that I'm going to beat you. And just right there, it showed Cody he hesitated and he couldn't do it, and he did the right thing. But it was. Did anybody else notice? It was odd to me. Cody was getting like even I felt like SmackDown, the SmackDown before WrestleMania, unless I was in like an alternate reality, Cody was getting booed
Oh yeah,
on
Yeah.
SmackDown. And then he
100%.
was getting booed at Mania, dude. And I was like, I just was like, wow, like, yeah, I was sitting there and I was wearing my throwback John Cena shirt, just because I'm like, hey, this is his last WrestleMania. But I just was like, wow, he's the slime ball, and Cody's like the face of the company. What is going on here? I thought that was odd.
Yeah, I
Um,
Here's the one thing too that about John Cena that really kind of threw me a little bit. You go to that final little stretch of the match, and John Cena held Cody and wanted Travis Scott to hit him. The referee standing right there watching the whole thing. If Travis Scott pulls the trigger and what the hell? There we go. If Travis Scott pulls the trigger and smokes Cody, Cena's disqualified.
yep, match over.
Like, like, seriously? Like, what was he thinking? Like, the referee standing right there watching the whole thing go down, and I'm like, this isn't the way
That
they're
was
gonna.
all. That was all so Cody could get his receipt because the world knows that Travis Scott injured Cody when he, was in that whole thing at Elimination Chamber or whatever it was when I can't remember where it was, but he got in the ring and he blasted him and he stiffed him.
Mhm.
So when I saw that happen, and I was like, oh, Cody's going to get his receipt. He's going to get his receipt. I love this because he deserves it. I think maybe that's why they did it, but I don't know. Like you said, ref standard right there.
So we got 20 minutes to throw Raw around for a few minutes. We want to lightning round this, Scott, or
Yeah. Okay. So
Kinda have to.
all I really want to talk about is, well, one of the biggest things I want to talk about is why I'm wearing this hat. The opening segment was John Cena, right?
that we didn't talk about Joe Hendry.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right. The mystery opponent for Randy Orton.
But we can. I mean,
Leech
That was
Pop was
that
cheering
was
his butt off
no
over there.
no. When I seen that, and after I thought about it, that's the only thing that made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Really,
I loved it.
because
I loved it.
it's too soon to bring Rusev back. Too soon.
Not in a match like that.
I didn't think he being away from WWE. You don't insert him in WrestleMania. There's too many other people that would have got pissed off in the back.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And why wouldn't you not have the TNA champion? Why not?
Yeah, yeah. He was already in the Rumble. Got a huge pop, huge ovation in the Rumble. So like, why not? Let's put him out there. You could have a little fun with it, and they had fun with it.
My
And
favorite part of it was when Randy Orton did his spin. He went like this. He would turn around.
he did that.
I was like,
That
come
was
on.
great.
That's when I sent in the group chat. I was like, I love Randy Orton. That was so fun to watch. That was so fun. I loved it. It was awesome. It was such a cool moment. It was really, really cool.
Randy Orton may have had the best weekend of any WWE superstar because he planted Cena hard last night,
Yep.
and I loved every second of it.
So did everybody else.
I loved it. So, but going into WrestleMania, I wasn't a fan of Cena and that story I was pissed off at Elimination Chamber. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought, what all this shit. I didn't understand. Watching what John Cena said last night made sense. I just got some things he said.
You think that on Friday you can bully me? And then I step in a ring with gold around my waist, and just because you cheer, I'm supposed to forgive you? Yeah. That's not how a functional relationship works. You, sir, is that the way you treat your wife? No, it's not.
He wasn't wrong. We're
Nope.
treating him. I sat there listening to all this. I'm like, oh my God. I bashed the hell out of this guy for weeks. And he wasn't wrong. Then.
The only thing that means anything to all of our lives is that. "36 dates. I told you at the beginning of the year, 36 dates and I'm gone. Time passes, guys. Time passes so quickly we have no idea. Let's count down the time you've already lost. Netflix debut, Indianapolis, Toronto, London, Brussels, Glasgow, Las Vegas, Las Vegas, Las Vegas. 27 dates. Not matches, appearances. Yeah. You say I can't wrestle, I don't have to. I just have to show up and do this. When that hits 0, the professional wrestling timeline stops.
Then he went on, and he's not wrong. He promised us dates, not matches. And I'm listening to this guy talk. And then he says, I'm taking this belt and I'm going home. Yeah, I'm aware that there's going to be a Monday Night Raw. And I'm aware that there's going to be a Friday Night SmackDown. Yes, there's going to be a WrestleMania 42. And he went on and on and on. He says, I am taking my era home. It's time for you guys to start the new era. The guys in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that makes so much more sense, John, saying it that way. Because to me, as heel as he is, that was the most heel way to pass the torch to the guys in the back. And I applaud John Cena for that.
Yep.
I'm a John Cena boy. I'm a John Cena guy, man. What he's doing, what he did, and now how he's going to do it, I'm all for it.
It works. It works so much better than for him to be able to go out like this, instead of how he was going into the Elimination Chamber, which is kind of the same guy. And people were like, oh, he's turned heel forever. People were like, we want him to be heel again. Well, he's heel, but he ain't the heel that you thought.
Right.
Like he's a heel that is breaking the fourth wall a lot.
Yes, and he even mentioned in that interview promo last night, this is the belt that Roman Reigns held over for 1,000 days. This is the belt Triple H, HBK, named them all.
Yes.
And he goes, and I am now taking that title, and I'm going home with it.
Yeah. Yep. He started with Bruno Sammartino.
Bruno Sammartino.
So I think he was naming like your big, like your big champions that have had like those reigns.
Right. And then he says, then he goes, here, passing the torch. Here, guys. Now it's your time to make your ruthless aggression or whatever you want to call it. And that to me, the only way I got that was I wasn't a podcast analyzer. I sat there and listened to it as a fan.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
I was dog walking that punk ass for 3 weeks. And what he said though on Monday Night Raw, I was like, okay, you're right.
I still hate the guy. I still can't stand him. I was never a Cena guy. I just never was. And I hope Randy punts him into I hope he punts him into retirement. That's the kind of kick I want out of Randy. And I hope we get that at Backlash. I really do. And I hope Randy stands tall over top of him for his 15th title. Is it 15 or 16? I think it's 15.
15.
It'll be 15, yeah, because he's a couple behind.
He's
Yeah.
14 right now.
I want to see Randy hold that title. And quite honestly, I want to see him hold it 3 more times so he breaks that punk ass Cena's record.
Now, is that realistic though?
No,
where they're going with, I mean, that's the sucky part. I sit here just saying what I said about being a fan because that's when I really got it.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, we're talking about Backlash, and I'm like, there's no way. Why would you ever take that off of John Cena that early? That'd be dumb.
Cena won't lose that title until very earliest he'll lose at Survivor Series, if he loses it at all.
If he loses it at all. Yeah,
Right.
he could keep it and walk out. But
after last night's, I don't see him losing it. I think he's really gonna go home. And on the Monday after whatever PLE it is that he retires, we're going to get our brand back, our brand titles back somehow.
Yeah. It's interesting. I almost wonder if if it was something that he and Creative and like Hunter, they talked about where he would get to work programs down the stretch with individuals that, he's like, hey, let's work up, because him and Randy came up together. And it's interesting because like they came up together. So did Brock. Like you look at those guys that came from OVW. So when Randy crawled in that ring and did that, I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Oh, he's going
to perfect.
Darn well he's picking his people.
Yeah. And that was I love that because the history between him and Randy, like, get out of here, man.
Yeah. He's gonna end up in the ring with Punk at some point. You gotta know that.
That's coming.
Oh yeah.
But
absolutely.
Like Monday had a lot of high spots, in my opinion, and there's a lot that we could just spend. We could spend another hour talking about this, but we don't have that kind of time. Lyra Valkyria and her losing. We discussed that earlier. What do you guys think of when Io had that match that Io and Stephanie Vacour had was chef's kiss, arguably one of the best women's matches of the year. Amazing.
Good stuff.
Stephanie's the jam. Yeah. I was gonna say Stephanie's the freaking jam.
Unbelievable match that again there was I guess it bothers me and I look at it as a fan and maybe I don't know. I don't like when good matches get ruined by like interference.
Yeah.
I just like I understand maybe you're trying to have it to where neither person went over and I get it, but I was like, this was so good. So good. Why?
Yeah.
So
that's the way I was looking at it too, was I think like because you're sitting there wondering like, man, you don't want Stephanie to lose, you don't want Io to lose, but you just didn't want an interruption like that. You wanted
Yeah,
it to keep
yeah.
going.
I'm
Oh my gosh,
thankful
what is
that it
that move
wasn't-
she does? That where Michael Cole was like, "It's a good thing Booker T's not here because he'd have a heart attack." And she does that move that she does all the time. Oh my gosh, dude, I was dying.
Well, that Spanish
Oh,
fly was ridiculous.
oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
I guess Rusev appears. That was my underwhelming. I thought it was a horrible reappear. I just thought it was not a very good.
Why bring him out during the tag team match?
That's
that
what I was
was,
wondering too.
that was bad placement in my opinion. I was
Yeah,
like, I
it was
watched it.
bad.
I'm like, why?
That was weird.
And
It was.
of course, the ending of the show with, oh, where'd he go?
Oh.
I don't know.
Braun Breaker being the third member or the second member. Wow.
Man.
Wow,
What I missed.
wow.
Wow.
That's yeah. That's
We're talking about the ending of Raw.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Breaker.
It's
Yes.
so much
The best-
going on. So much going on, and it goes all the way back to WrestleMania 2, where Roman is sitting on the apron, just shell shocked, and Punk's in the ring, shell shocked. And he looks back at him as he's walking down the aisle and walks away. It's almost like it's forcing this, like almost like an alliance between those two, where they're
Yeah.
going to have to come together. And it's just
Serious.
yeah, it's
Well,
so
it's got to be
good.
before that, though. It's got to be before that. And I would not be a bit surprised if in the coming weeks we have a third member of that program of that little alliance, and his name is A Town Down, Austin Theory.
Are you?
Really?
It's funny you say that because I was thinking that because if you remember, there's only two guys I remember in the past 2 years to where Paul Heyman has walked up to him and has told him, "I see potential in you. I see great things in your future." Breaker and freaking Theory. The only two guys.
I forgot about that. At first, I'm
I
like,
was thinking the same
no,
thing.
no, Austin Theory makes no sense. But now that you say, I forgot about that. And he's
That is-
selective. Paul is selective too. He's another one that it's almost real. Like whoever he's working with is somebody he really wants to work with. And the company, he nags at him and they're like, fine, freaking Paul, work with him. Whatever. Just like him and Punk. That was an unholy alliance they never wanted to let happen, but they eventually let it happen. So
if
and
they
you could
bring
talk.
if they bring A Town Down in, they turn from being a powerhouse to a bunch of bitches.
I'm not okay. I'm not saying you don't bring in Waller. You leave Waller out of this. You
Oh
just
my
have Austin
gosh.
Theory.
No,
You can't. Yeah,
He's like, no, no.
it makes sense. It truly makes sense.
I mean it makes sense because he's a Paul Heyman dude, but
Well,
listen,
so was Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel was a
he's
Paul
not going
Heyman
to be
guy.
there. He ain't going to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah,
No,
it's like
no.
I don't know. I like just the two of them right now because it blows your mind. It's like it just blows your mind. It's like two people you did not think would ever be on the same team, and there they are. And Seth's like, "That's my boy. That's my boy." And it's like it's awesome. That's what I mean. I like it just those two. This is me personally. I like it just Seth and Breaker, and then that forces this alliance like that you never thought you'd see between Roman and Punk. These are freaking
Right.
like just mega stars. And then you've got Braun Breaker, which we've all talked about a lot, like Jacob Fatu. That dude is like going to be the future. There you go. There you go.
I guess we have to bring.
architect, man. He's a freaking architect.
You got to bring that. I don't know.
And there's rumors that
Moxley.
the name of this alliance will be the Revolution.
How original, right?
the revolution. Since he is a revolutionary, he's a
a
visionary.
Will they bring Becky in? Will they bring Becky Lynch in?
No, there's no need.
So there's just
There's more of a need to bring her
This
in than
guy's
the
group.
dumbass
No, there's
Austin
not.
Theory. I hate
Listen,
all
listen, huge pot. Just because they're not bringing your boy Baron Corbin in doesn't mean you have to hate on
dude.
Theory.
I mean,
I
I'd
hate
rather.
that. I hate
I'm with Huge Pop. What you guys say makes sense, but it doesn't mean I want Austin Theory
No,
in that group.
no.
I don't.
You got
I'm
two-
sorry.
you got-
I see, and this is my opinion. I see the potential in Theory.
I'm not saying he sucks. Austin Theory does not suck. He does not suck. But
As long
I
as they
don't
leave
think
Waller, as long as they leave Waller out of it, I'm fine.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I don't know. I mean, I
I
don't want
hate
to sound
Grayson
like
Waller. I think he's absolute dog shit.
I don't want to take
Hey.
anything away from Austin Theory's wrestling ability because he's good, but not. I don't want to. You got two.
He's
I
got
don't
to
wanna
win. He's got a WrestleMania win over John Cena.
Dun, 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 dun. You know
yeah,
why?
that
you
is
know why
true. He does.
You know why he has that win? You know why he has that win over John Cena?
I'm better than you, and you know it.
I love that guy, man. See, and that's where it's like, I'm not full force like Matt, but I will say, like, I'm not all Cena crazy like everyone else is. I don't think he sucks. I think he's great. I do think he's good. I'm not on the Cena train where I think he's the best.
Now,
in the
don't get
world.
it twisted. I'm not on the Cena train either. All I said was what he did, what he said, and how he put it makes me not hate him because he's right.
The Vegas crowd sure hated him. The whole John Cena sucks. I love it. I
But they
absolutely love it.
cheered him. They cheered that guy like crazy when he won too.
Yes.
Just cheered him. And I was one of his biggest fans from the time he was heel and he was the doctor of thugonomics.
Love
The
that.
first time I ever started turning against him was when he beat Shawn and at WrestleMania, and that pissed me off because Shawn is my all-time favorite. And I was like, how dare you? And then the very next WrestleMania, he beat Triple H, who's like one of probably number 2 on my list. And I was like, that's it. I don't love this guy as much as that. So I've always been a fan, but he went down a few notches when he beat those guys. I was not happy.
Well, boys, it is 9:30 your time.
It is when it's no chest time for me.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody watching and it turned in. We did talk about WrestleMania. We talked about night 1 and 2, Raw. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We give you our opinions. I thank you guys for that. Whoever watches this in the ending or after it's on YouTube, please hit the follow and subscribe button. And we will be back. We'll be back in a week to talk more wrestling. So you guys, hey, love you guys all. You guys get out.
I love you, Solo.
2, I love you.
I love you, Solo.
Nikki, I love you. Rico. I love you guys. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast.